Hey, welcome back to my channel, Vast13. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. Hey, welcome back to the channel, Vast13. So, today's video is going to be about Shiloh Hendrix. In case you haven't seen the video, it's this lady, her name's Shiloh, and she is going viral because she used the N-word on a small child. It's a wild video. So this lady got upset because this child, I guess, grabbed her son's toy and broke it. At least that's what she said. So this man, I started recording her, and I guess she was using the N-word against the child. It's so sad that there's a situation like this even happening. The fact that you would call a child the N-word, though the world we're living in is just getting worse and worse and worse. The crazy thing now is that she has a Give, Send, Go. It's companies similar to GoFundMe, where you can raise funds to support you, and people are out there actually giving this lady money. They're up to, I believe, $700,000. They're trying to reach 1 million, and to me, it's insanity that in this country you can raise funds for someone that has such hatred in their body. Like it's so crazy that we are still dealing with racism and just pure hatred because of what people look like, because of people's religious beliefs. It doesn't make any sense. We're all people at the end of the day. So the fact that you would hate somebody for any type of difference is very wild. I just can't believe that people are out there giving money to this lady for this reason. I feel like there's so many problems in this country, and we're all struggling when it comes to finances, and the fact that she can make money after being so hateful. Like, it'd be nice if we could all, like, take turns gaining funds, to help us all during these hard times where all the interest rates are so high and we're all like living paycheck to paycheck. But someone can go out there, use the N-word, be extremely hateful and disrespectful, and then you got a whole community of hated and hateful people just immediately trying to help you because you decided to use the N-word. So like, oh, we're in support of that. Hey, we're Nazis. We're these guys. We're this. We're that. We're gonna help you out. You're part of us. Like, to me, that's so crazy that we do that here. I wish that we could just honestly move on from such stupidity. Like it'd be great if one day we could all just wake up and see that this is kind of stupid. Why do I hate this person? Just think about that. Just like literally think about that. Why do you hate this person? Skin tone, hair, language. Why do you hate him? Like, seriously, why do you hate him? That's what I would love to know. I wonder if we will always be this way. If we will ever get to that point where we can just move on. Not just dwell in the past and just constantly keep repeating it, repeating the same history of hate, 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 hate. Like, why? It makes no sense. Like, I can understand, when you have a problem with an individual, it's like, boom, me and you have a problem, and you solve that problem between y'all two. Or sometimes, just you'll always dislike that person and leave it at that. But a whole race of people, why? It makes no sense. Oh goodness. I wish we could learn from everything. It's it'll never make sense to me. I mean, I hope that one day we can, overlook people's differences and just go off of people's characters. But it always seems to be that there's always going to be some sort of issue. And I don't understand as to why. I could see myself getting along with someone of any kind of race, of any kind of religion. I've done so. I've gotten along with plenty of people who have completely different religious beliefs than my own. I've gotten along with plenty of people who are different races than myself, different, like those differences don't matter. So I just don't understand how other people can't do the same. I don't know if it's like a political view thing either. Like I've gotten along with people of all types of political views. I don't care who you want to vote for. I myself, if anyone's interested to know, I'm independent. I don't really believe in either one of the views of the Democratic or Republican parties. I feel like honestly, at the end of the day, they're kind of the same. They just want a vote, and once they have that vote, they do as they please. And the reason I think more on the independent side is because of the fact that sometimes I see some things in the Republican side of the party that I can agree with, and sometimes I see stuff in the Democratic side that I can agree with. But I don't go 100% on either side, because then they have other views I just myself don't align with. But because someone may fully align with that, I still don't see myself hating somebody for those reasons. So I don't get how we still continuously keep like going down the same path all the time, just over and over and over. Like, I wish we can move forward from this, and literally every single time an incident like this happens, where somebody uses the N-word, or if there's some sort of police incident, or anything of that nature, we have people coming out the woodworks, and you have your people with their negatives in all types. And the reason I say in all types, because we're going to have people who are being negative, but for a positive reason. And what I mean by that is, like, we'll have people say, oh, that's why I hate the police, because the police do this to this type of people. Which, that's great. You're defending, the person that was attacked by the police, but you're still spewing hatred. And then you have the other side, which is like completely for, oh, well, that person is that type of people, so they deserve what they got from the police. Like, just the pure hatred. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I always ask myself when it comes to all these kinds of stuff, like why? And I always like to like make try to keep the scenarios like specific, because that's the only way that I can get some sort of answer in my head. Because when I just go off of the generalizations of things, it just doesn't make any sense. Because if we just go off of generally, why do we hate each other because of skin tones and, like I said, religious beliefs and all that, it doesn't make any sense. The only thing that can make sense is if we talk about specifics. Like when you see things like this out there in the world, situations like that, you just start asking yourself, do people just want to hate just to hate? Like, is there never going to be any kind of change? Because when you see people harm each other, come at each other just for those specific reasons, it's like, makes you wonder if you're going to find any hope in the world. Is there any point to all this? Because we just keep doing the same things over and over. I'll play devil's advocate here. She shouldn't have a GoFundMe. She shouldn't be getting any kind of support for her actions. And since her actions have gone so viral, I'm sure she, if she'd lost her job, so she would need a way to support herself. So I can understand that. Because there's a lot of the things that we don't really think about, because, obviously, so why would we think about this when this person's being hateful? But I think that if someone is being hateful, they shouldn't lose their job, because we need, people need to work. Like, how is this person gonna have a livelihood? They have to work. I mean, I think we don't solve any problems by making that person no longer have a job and have any type of livelihood. If you think about it, the only thing you're doing is adding to more hatred. So if that person was already being idiotic in that moment and took it just to a whole other level where the racism exploded and it went as viral as it did, and now they've lost everything. Once they lose all this, don't you think they're just going to gain more hatred? So to me, it would make more sense, instead of firing somebody, it's just going to be a better situation if we start finding people. But we shouldn't be making people lose their jobs. Now, if and I know that's going to sound very bad and controversial here, but the reason I say that is that we gotta put these people in programs so that they can learn from their mistakes. They have to better themselves. And like, social media doesn't make this easier. Like, because once something's online, it's there forever. So people aren't gonna forget. The only thing we can do is try to better these people. So we need to start making more programs and ways for these people to learn how hatred is not going to be tolerated. So we got to start making laws and a lot of these type of seminars where they can go to and learn from the history of all this hate and how we can get rid of it so that we can move forward. Because like I said, getting rid of someone's livelihood is not going to do nothing for them. It's just going to cause more hatred, and these people also need a way to live. I understand we're not going to care, about that, but we have to do something to change this country, to change how these people view things. If we just continuously just like do what we're doing now, where we're just immediately labeling the person as this and they're always going to be that, then we're not going to get anywhere with it. We're just always going to have a separated country where, you have these types of people versus these types of people, and they're always just going to hate each other. But if we have a country where, we have people that might have, grew up in hatred, and so technically the hatred is not really theirs, it was given to them by their parents, grandparents, or so on, then we'll have a type of way to get rid of that. But if we have, but if we just continue immediately, somebody does something as disgusting as she did, like I said, I'm not at all saying that what she did wasn't disgusting and bad. It 100% is. What I'm saying is that we need to figure out a way that we can punish her and keep the world going. Like, have people learn from this, because that's what we need. We need people to learn from this and to know that they're going to be held accountable for these things, and so that we can have a better country. Because if we don't start doing these things, it's just going to keep repeating over and over, and that's what keeps happening. I think we have nonstop people doing this. Completely cut them off because, like I said, social media is so powerful that they lose all their livelihood, and guess what? That person becomes even more hateful. So instead of us losing on hatred, where we're keeping it at the same level. But if we were to, like I said, punish somebody and have them learn from that, and then once they learn from that, be able for them to just go back to a normal life, and hopefully they won't ever do that again, because they've learned from their situation, then we would have less hatred and we would have more positivity. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. I'm not going to say, but we got to do something. Because what we're doing right now, we have nothing we have nothing set up for these types of situations. All we have is just people online going back and forth. Your people do this, your people do that. That's all we have online. We have no way of fixing it, and then that's what I want to figure out a way to fix things so that we can move past this and not continuously coming back to the hatred from the past. We need to move forward from all this. I know that the differences I think will always be around. Like, no matter what, we're always going to see the differences within us, within each other, but we shouldn't see the differences in a way that we would hate each other because of it. We need to see the differences as, oh, that person's different from me because of this, but it doesn't matter. We need to go back to those times of like childhood, like, when you're kids and you're just run up to any kid and just, oh, let's play, let's go hang out, let's go do this. Because we're not seeing each other like oh, wait a minute, you know, hey, that's a black kid. I don't want to hang out with a black kid. You know, oh, that's a white kid. I don't want to hang out with a white kid. Like, come on. We need to move past this. So those are just my thoughts on this. Like, I would hope that you know, we can learn from this incident, but it's all just, I guess, takes time. So yeah, I would just hope that they cancel this, like I said, the charity fund that they know that right now that the lady has. Hope that it gets taken down, because we don't, that's just money coming straight from hatred. And we don't need anybody being able to profit off of the hatred. What we need, like as I said, is a way to recover, hold people accountable for their actions and recover from that, so that we can, have a more positive life instead of just pure negativity all the way around. Yeah, just give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would, what would you do? How about that? Write down in the comments, what would you do if you ran this country, and what would you do for when it comes to this type of situation? How would you deal with racism and hatred in this country? Yeah, so let me know. Share the video. Peace.